Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we are going into Orzhov control direction, because we were covering so many control decks that I felt that we don't give enough love to Orzhov. That's a pretty interesting color combination for the control. This one is heavily based on like sacrificed creature tokens, exploit mechanic, and just a lot of small tokens combined with Meathook Massacre. So this is quite interesting part of the deck, because basically you can kill the enemy without really attacking the enemy. That's something that really helps with the overall gameplay, especially against some decks that can answer more or less a lot of stuff. So, you know, the fact that you can drain enemy 10 life easily just makes it so much easier to close the games. Even Firstinger actually can target the enemy, don't forget about it. So basically if you exploit itself, it can deal 3 direct damage. It's like a lightning bolt, right? Yeah, those are small things, but they do add up in this deck. For the cards, you probably know them by heart. They are very typical choices for this archetype. So I think we concentrate a bit more on how to play the deck and, you know, the idea behind some interactions, things like this, and how the overall feeling of the deck is, because I think that's the more important part. We have a pretty strange sideboard. One thing that you might consider, instead of Necrotic Fumes, we might get this 3 mana green-black pest thing. It might be okay in this deck. So that's something I was on the fence, but generally it really helps with this deck because you have so many small tokens that it's basically a 3 mana exile something, and you don't really have much problems with exiling your creatures. So that's generally the best deck to put it in. Reduce to Memory is really good here. Have 1 Mascot Exhibition. I really went for Introduction to Professor here, because I feel that second Mascot Exhibition is great, but we have enough finishers in the deck, like we have 4 Lolth. Man, I should probably stop flickering, it probably is annoying to watch. But we have 4 Lolth, double Blood on the Snow, and double Edgar. So we have a lot of high impact cards. If we can get one of them, it's generally helping so much in the matchup. And Mascot Exhibition, we have 1, so if we need the second one, it means that we are probably into very long game. So I went like this, and I really like the introduction to Prophecy. It really helps, especially you can hit land with it. So it can be, in a way, a backup environmental science. So that's the reasoning, but with the sideboard you can definitely experiment a bit. It was just how I liked it. So for the deck itself, I really like the Learn ability here. We have double Eyetwitch and double Professor, 4 times Professor, and the amount of cards that we get from learning is just insane. You will see in one of the games, half of my hand was basically the cards from Learn, and this is the advantage that we have over the enemy. So it's pretty funny because this is a solid 2-drop. It's 2/1. It's not perfect, but it usually trades with something very well. So you usually trade this creature for a card from the enemy, and you still have like land or something like this. I have found that decks with Learn have really better mana base because of environmental science. You can hit lands on curve, and sometimes it really saved the game completely, because I actually would with the land, and with this I didn't. And don't forget, with Learn you can always cycle the cards from your hand. It's not really great most of the time, but if you have the matchup when you know that the enemy will overwhelm you and your cards won't be played because you either win or die before that, sometimes it's just faster to draw. Like if you want to hit land, sometimes you can hit land without paying this 2 mana and just cycle one of the cards. It's risky, you do it when you know you will lose otherwise, but sometimes it's a good play. Okay, some tricks that might help you in some games, and most of the time they are useless. So yeah, dropping this knowledge. Okay, let's go into the next part. Wedding Announcement is the big powerhouse for the deck, of course. This is the main thing that generates you the tokens. We also have Edgar. Edgar is a bit more hard to use. It's like the difference between 3 mana and 4 mana is big. Like, it's huge. Especially we have a lot of 2-drops, so Edgar is basically either Edgar or 2 other cards most of the time. So Wedding Announcement is definitely the one you want to hit on turn 3. And sometimes you might dig into it, especially if you have like Eyetwitch Shambling Ghast into Deadly Dispute. That's pretty insane. What this deck can do, it's not obvious at the first glance, but it can ramp into Lolth extremely fast. And I mean like disgustingly fast. And you will see one of the games like this. You basically can play Ghast into Deadly Dispute, into land, so you actually play a turn 3 Lolth against enemy 2 lands. That's insane, and yeah, it's really hard to beat, all I will say. So definitely keep an eye on this play. We run quite a lot of Rite of Oblivion, but I feel that this is a big card. It's also a very good answer to Planewalkers, and you could say that Vanishing Verse is better. Yes, but a lot of threatening Planewalkers are double color, like Kaito especially, like things like this, even Nyxlis. You cannot remove those with Vanishing Verse, and then you are really stuck, because your board is decent, but if you don't hit Wedding Announcement, it's, you know, it's just 1-2 drops, sometimes 3 drop. It's not like Boros that completely dominates the board. We are more of a, you know, control deck with board presence that chips away at key points. But it's not like we can just, you know, directly kill all the Planewalkers, especially if they have high loyalty and blockers on the enemy side. And if enemy starts the game enough, the Planewalkers can take over. So I think the Rite of Oblivion is extremely important in this deck, because it can answer everything. What more, it exiles. So of course one of the pillars for the deck, right? We have also Blood on the Snow. We are running the Snow version. We are not the heavy Snow version. We have what, 12, 6, yeah, 12 and 4, 16 Sloth, great. So we have 16 lands. From the general feeling, usually when you want to cast Blood on the Snow, you don't have enough lands to get back Lolth, but you have enough lands to get Felsinger or Edgar most of the time. And if you are in the long game, you have enough time to just wait until you activate the Blood on the Snow and Lolth. So if you want to go for value play, you have this option. If not, like, even getting back Eyetwitch is actually pretty big, and Professor is great target as well, because it gives you a very good answer to something enemy has. It puts a blocker, and the board is swept. So that's quite a lot already. We have only 3 Deadly Disputes. As great as a card is, I feel that generally we get card advantage in a way, in different ways. So this isn't really a card advantage, but in this deck it actually is, because Wedding Announcement creates 3 tokens. So if we trade each one of them for a card, of course in the end you trade 2 for 1. That was horrible. 2 for 3. Because you need Wedding Announcement, right? And you exile 3 cards from the enemy side. So basically pretty good trade. And we have quite a lot of card though. Like Lolth is the big star for the deck. You need Lolth, and this is your powerhouse to close the games. And Lolth is so great of a Planewalker. It's only 5 mana, but it's so dominating on the battlefield. And it's so hard to answer the double spider. Usually you want to cast it when enemy has empty board, because then they cannot have 4 damage with haste that has trample. Like it's just not realistic to have all the perfect cards. Sometimes they can burn Lolth, but then the spiders are left, and this is second part of the deck. Spiders normally don't matter as much, but with so many small creatures that can attack, that can get sacrificed, and Meathook Massacres that also act as a sweeper, this is actually so important. Every damage counts with this deck, and you want to be way more aggressive than with other controls, because at some point you might run out of value, and the Meathook Massacre and the tokens will drain enemy and you win the game. And sometimes that's your game plan. So yeah, Meathook Massacre, consider it playing for 0 from time to time, because the passive is like good enough. It's extremely strong in this deck. Oh, okay. I thought the introduction is pretty decent. So that's all I wanted to say about this deck, I think. It's pretty decent. Yeah. If you like Orzhov, definitely try this one. It's one of the top versions, I believe. So, with that being said, if you like the channel, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It gives you every day a cool deck. And if you are a Dimir fan, you will have a lot of decks. So, yeah. If you like what we are doing, I really appreciate subscribing. And with that being said, let's go into the games, and really thank you guys for all the support. That's really nice of you. So, enjoy. Okay, we are going first. We do have very good draw, so I will take it. Let's start with black, of course. And now is the question. This gives us ramp, so we probably get the Shambling Ghast first. Yeah, we can cast Lolth extremely quickly. And it might be too hard for enemy to answer. Okay, first land, in case something happens to our poor Ghast. The second mana might be red, so let's wait. It might be right into adversary. So then you want to have blockers and deadly disputed. That is my plan. That's what I hope to get. It might be Magecraft then. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So, let's sacrifice the Ghast and, you know, play turn 3 Lolth. Seems pretty strong. Oh man, that's pretty broken. I'm not gonna lie. Generally with treasures you love to trade them for something that gives permanent value, right? So if you go for high mana instant that doesn't really do anything except, let's say, deal 7 damage, that doesn't change anything. But if you have Planewalker, suddenly enemy cannot really do much, right? Let's draw some cards. Man, this is actually pretty obnoxious for the enemy. How is he supposed to deal with this? Alright, so we can go aggressive a bit, but then Lolth can die. Okay, I've made my mind. I think this is the correct play. Not sure what the white is for. He might have sweepers, but then we get Lolth with counters. We attack with 1. I want my token, and I want blockers for Lolth. Next turn we attack way more aggressively if enemy doesn't respond. It might be depopulate or something like this. But then it means that it's not, you know, putting anything into the board. We remake the spiders, we get the token. So sweepers are not really an answer to our board. And we have enough pressure, like it's 6 damage, it's no joke, and it will be more. Okay, that's a perfect one. However, Lolth doesn't die. And we can make more and more spiders, so, you know, it gives enemy a bit of a time, but not enough. Do we go for the Celestus? I kinda want to, honestly. Mascot Exhibition. Enemy can get back Shigeki, so no sense to get removal here. I kinda think Reduce to Memory is good. It might be a bad choice, I'm not sure. Like, the second choice would be Mascot Exhibition. This is definitely white. Enemy wants to bait us into mistake. Also, enemy might attack Lolth, but we have enough. No, we have enough. Man, Celestus is such a strong card. I just want to get rid of it. It ramps the enemy, and it gives him basically card selection. Two worst things that can happen for you know, value game. We are basically trying to trade the value. So we basically negated this whole ramp. Okay, so what enemy is playing? Okay, so some kind of landfall druid deck. Interesting, I like it. I do like it. So he will have all the mana that he wants. Let's see the target. It will be Lolth, right? It has to be Lolth. Wedding Announcement is also pretty scary, to be honest. Okay, nice. That's fine. But it means that we have Lolth and we can still draw cards. There are no great choices, like enemy have really hard game. I actually feel for the guy. It's so hard, like when an enemy double ramps into Lolth, what are you freaking supposed to do even? And the enemy is taking it like a champ. So let's draw some cards because we have so many good draws. Those are not one of them, but you know, we are trying. Enemy cannot block anything. So let's start by drawing cards. And I'm pretty sure he won't remove any of them. Okay. Like, we have a lot of power right now. So let's start attacking the enemy. Right now I want to pressure him into like 7 or something like this, so he starts to make more aggressive plays. So this will be a Professor. I want at least 2 blockers to protect Lolth, even if he kills both. Now it's Mascot Exhibition. Even if he protects both. What was I saying? I will get back to it, I promise. I promise. Let's draw some cards. Okay, so even if he kills both creatures, both blockers, it means extra 2 loyalty, so then he needs to deal 5 damage, that's quite a lot. I will draw my cards, thank you. Enemy will heal quite a bit, unfortunately, but that's fine. I might Vanishing Verse this. Okay, I'm taking my time. We have so much value here. Even this, like this, gets you know, confront the past, which gets Lolth. So basically, this is a creature and Lolth. That's insane. Like the value from Learn is so huge very often. You can basically have 9-drop with from your 2-drop. I really like the idea behind the Learn. It's, you know, a bit of a tutor, a bit of value game. I remember that when it was introduced, I if I remember correctly, at least from what I watched, it wasn't like extremely well received. Like everyone was saying that the cards are really bad, and I can understand them, but it shows how much accidental like card advantage, how big of a deal it is, that you don't really go into card draw, but you still get some card draw. It's the same with live game basically. So I want to get rid of Shigeki, because it is extremely important to get rid of Shigeki. They can get so much value from the graveyard with this deck, so, and they have a lot of lands usually. So the moment you exile it, it's just so much better, and it's still a blocker, so you know, at some point we would do it anyway. We have only 6 mana, let's not play the land, not show the enemy that we can. Do we go all in and attack? Enemy doesn't have damage-based removal, so I think we go like this. Okay. That would suggest some kind of sweeper. And I think in this situation you want to play Lolth, because... Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Okay. I get the idea. Then we just get the Professor, it's fine. Graveyard, confront the past, easy. Now you need another negate. And basically you can see that thanks to this we are going like 1 for 1, and we still have a small creature in the board. So that's pretty sweet. Enemy has only 2 cards again, like we are playing against some kind of control deck with landfall. And as you can see, we completely drained them out of value, thanks to the lessons. Like, the biggest drops here are the lessons, basically. He might have the Meathook Massacre, so for this reason we are playing the creature that is really obnoxious to deal if you have sweepers. Yeah. The other choice would be Lolth, but he might have negate, and he definitely wants to sweep the board anyway. So if we only have Lolth, then we draw cards, but... You know, it slows us down by quite a lot. Right now, if he wants to put sweeper like Meathook Massacre, then we start getting tokens. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's what we didn't want to happen. But still, he needs to play all this stuff, and he cannot exile Edgar. So we will attack and see what's up. Negate is definitely an issue, but we need to play around it somehow. I'm not sure if I prefer the Mascot Exhibition or Lolth, because one of them will get negated, and I'm not sure which one I should choose to get negated. Well, he will negate probably the first one we play. Okay, definitely let's attack and see how low he wants to go. And he definitely wants to go low. Alright, what do we have in the sideboard? Not sure. So he can remove one of them. But the Vanishing Verse doesn't trigger the Meathook, so he's at 3. And we attack for 5, so he needs to remove one more creature. I think we play like this. This is basically the lowest like card investment that we can make into the board. And we can start drawing into cool stuff. Do you want to counter this, my friend? Alright, Meathook Massacre. That's actually pretty good, right? Man, I wish I had more black mana. Like, this keeps happening. I think the board is wide enough. So right now we really force enemy to play something. If we cast Mascot Exhibition, basically we wouldn't change anything. He still dies to whatever he has. Like, he still dies to attacks from our board, right? So it doesn't matter if he will be at -1 or -10. So in the end, you just want to make sure that he cannot use all the spot removals to basically sweep manually. But even if he does, he needs so many cards that he probably will lose anyway. He needs to get, you know, the value. And he's not getting the value. Yeah, and we still had like 2 backup plans. One backup plan was Meathook Massacre with Mascot Exhibition and like the Ghasts. And the second one was Lolth. So we had 2 levels of gameplay after he swept, but he never even didn't sweep, right? Alright, so we have exactly anti-Boros hand. For some reason I feel that we get control matchup, but let's be positive. Let's assume that it has to be aggro deck as always, right? Let's start with Plains, of course. This will be Swamp, and this will be probably Swamp for Meathook. Okay, we are against Boros, nice. First time ever, I'm happy about seeing Boros. So our plan is to try to get rid of all the high... Yeah, I knew it's not possible. I knew it. Alright, it's actually not the worst matchup for what we have, to be fair. Let's go for the Professor. And I do feel with double Lolth we really want to hit our run drops. Let's go for black. We definitely have more black cards in the hand. I mean, all of them are black, basically. And we can hit Vanishing Verse next turn. Meathook Massacre is pretty good in this matchup. Oh, I will definitely block. That's a block of my dreams, bro. It also means no op Nixlis. I'm totally fine with this one. This is not extremely quick. Let's go like this. Do we go for Plains? I guess this is the responsible choice, so let's do it. We could get rid of the Trespasser. But you know what? I think we have better options. I might be wrong. But I hate discarding the ward cost, because then it's 2 for 1, and if we play Meathook, it's 1 for 1. Actually, we can get ahead on this one. Okay, that's a good play. Definitely a good play, but it means that he doesn't really have a lot of value in the deck. And I guess we go for the treasure, right? Yeah, like, there's no sense to do anything else. Oh, maybe... I didn't think that the treasure will enable the Vanishing Verse. Actually, that's something I should consider, but we will do it later. It's fine. Oh, we missed. That's not great. Alright, this is definitely Lolth. I'm so tempted to draw a card, but that's not what we want to do. Like, this makes it enough awkward that the enemy needs to play around it a bit. If he directly burns Lolth, that's perfect, because it means he loses the card and we still have the spiders, so the Trespasser is not great. Meathook Massacre would be the worst, because then he gets Lolth and he gets the spiders for free, all for the cost of 1 card. Okay, that's actually really good for us. Will he go for the underdog? That's interesting. Okay, that's perfect. Oh man, I'm actually enjoying what's happening right now. Like, enemy is getting value, but he's trading his permanence in a way. And we are quite heavy on the value, and we are at 14. So at 14 we aren't super scared. I play more Lolths. And you can see how Lolth changed the board. We were super behind last turn, and suddenly we are ahead. And he needs to kill her this turn, basically. I think he can. I don't think Lolth will survive, but we have some Blood on the Snow. We need 2 snow-covered lands though, so it will take time. But sooner or later we will get there. And we have double Vanishing Verse, double Meathook, so as long as we have time, we should be okay. And we can go for very high value plays if we really have to. And the worst case would probably be Tenacious Underdog, because it helps him refill the hand. So Tenacious Underdog and Voltage Surge I think is the worst for us. Meathook is not bad in this turn, because then he cannot attack, and as long as Lolth survives we are extremely ahead. Yeah, like if we start drawing with Lolth we are at home, because we will hit land drops, we will probably hit Deadly Dispute, and we can get everything rolling, and wedding announcements. Like, we have a lot of cards that we didn't hit. I'm glad we hit at least Lolth, because this really helps us for this game. Without double Lolth we wouldn't have enough value. So enemy is in the pickle. He has a lot of cards, so I'm pretty sure he has good answers. Yeah. But that's pretty okay for us. Like, it's very mana intensive, so he solved the biggest problem, but still. And when we have open mana for the verse and he plays the underdog, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. We could go for 1 mana for 0x Meathook. I cannot talk sometimes. My brain just freezes. And I'm thinking about something and talking about something and they just completely disalign. Alright, so Meathook for 2. No, we cannot, because we have too many plays. I knew I should go for black then. Okay, so let's attack. I think pressuring him is a good deal. We have double Vanishing Verse, so even if he could activate the Den and the Tenacious Underdog, we would be completely cool with it, but he cannot. And I think we wait until his removal. We want to pressure him. Imagine if he was at 4 HP right now. He would have to remove them, and we would cast that dispute, and we would get more ahead. So in a way, the less HP enemy has, the more ahead you can go. Cool. The card that we all like and laugh. Please, go away with this crap. I just played against Goldspan Dragon. We were completely winning the game, and enemy just played the Goldspan Dragon twice and he won. Yeah, great. Because, like, we don't have anti-flyers, right? Except spiders. Okay, so you got your play. Do you have any more broken cards that can win you the game on their own? That's the question. Yeah, I'm a bit salty. I don't understand why Goldspan Dragon is still in the format, to be honest. Like, the fact that every red deck basically plays it shows extremely well how powerful the card is. Okay, so how do we do it? Next turn it might be Tenacious Underdog, and he has 4 mana on top of it. I'm not sure. I think we shouldn't give up on the pressure with spiders. It might be a mistake. I hope that we can pressure him enough that he tries to remove one of them and then we get additional card as a value. I do not mind this. This is actually pretty decent. So, my friend, 14 or lower? Your choice. I hope he will remove it. It looks like he has something that removes it, but decided to not to. We have 1 Vanishing Verse, and that's fine. I'm a bit giving up on the value, but enemy doesn't have really a lot of cards, you know? This is basically instant speed creature, so Meathook will never hit it, same here. Like, 3 cards is not a lot of creatures, so I think the other Meathook Massacre is enough. And the fact that we can start Deadly Disputing and draining the enemy, this will probably be lethal. Yeah, I think the Meathook is what made it through. Because then he's at 6 if he cannot counter it, and draining 6 during the game is not a problem. Alright, enemy goes first, as always. That's not great, because we have such a good hand. With Deadly Dispute, like, our card draw is insane, so all we need is tempo. And of course, enemy opens with perfect hand, because why wouldn't he ever open with perfect hand and being on the play? Oh man, this is so annoying when you play against this kind of hand. At least it's not adversary, I guess. Counter on Initiate is a bit wasted by default, but his hand is still extremely good. Let's go with the Professor. I'm not sure what we should play for. Like, we have enough lands, I guess. Still, I guess it's perfect hand. He doesn't miss a single beat since start of the game. I'm not sure really. Reduced to memory doesn't seem great at all. Mascot seems way too slow. I think it's Science because it counters one of the burn. Yeah, he didn't use a single mana, and this will be Cavalier, right? Of course. This is basically the gut draw of Boros. And what I find extremely funny, in a non-funny way, is the fact that I've been playing Boros, and I didn't have this kind of hand, like in 10 games, not even single one. I actually couldn't hit my lands on curve. And without the snares even. So that's interesting. Alright, so how do we play it? We need to go for the Meathook, so I guess we need to mitigate at least some damage, right? Let's not pain ourselves. Like, if we're on the play, I'm pretty sure we would win. Man, the enemy just has every single card that he needs. Look, not a single mana was wasted this whole game by the enemy. Every card perfectly on curve, with full synergy. By the way, being on this is what happens when you are on the draw against perfect Boros hand. We have Sweeper, and what? You cannot win against those kind of hands, you just cannot win. Alright, we are going first, with honestly very good hand. I would just get Vanishing Verse, but other than this, the hand is really strong. And we are against Boros, I guess, again. Guys, give up with Boros. How long do we need to endure this? So we get Professor, it gets play with fire, but that's still fine, we have enough 3-drops to justify it. Next turn it will be Wedding Announcement. And they still need to target it, they don't get the Scry. If they have like Lance Screw maybe, they cannot fix the draws. So that's pretty worthwhile still. And I think we get what? And they will use it at some creature at some point. I'm not exactly sure. Probably this, right? I don't think we have time to card draw. And we only have 4 lands, so we might get stuck on those. Okay, so he just drew 2 mana this turn. Or he plays extremely bad. Alright. This turn... It's Field of Ruin and the Wedding Announcement, because we need to get it going. It will be a lot of pressure in time. This will be Cavalier and 2-3, yeah. That's pretty devastating. And I do not think we block. That's not the stage in the game, and you generally want to flip this before you trade, because you basically double the value of all the cards. We could get rid of both of them, but then the Kumano is here. Pretty irritating card. We definitely want to be mana efficient. Let's think before we play. Actually, we cannot play those because we don't have the correct mana. So it's Aether, Rite of Oblivion and Science. Pretty bad. That's an interesting one. We could Deadly Dispute, but it doesn't seem very good. Maybe we just do this. No, we fall 2 behind. Alright. Alright. I decided. It will be like this, because we get another token. And even though... let's go for... We have more... No, like, okay. We go for black. We have more black. We have Deadly Dispute. We will get the token. But I don't think I want to block, so I think we just make sure that we hit the land drop next turn. Let's go for planes this time. Man, this game will be extremely close. I'm not sure if we can win this, but we definitely have a good situation right now. And next turn we get the Anthem effect. Luminarch. Oh my god, that's so good. Raiju is the only better one, I think. Are you serious? Oh my god. This freaking deck. Oh my god. Never mind. We were always ahead. Alright, how do we do it? We get the token. This will be 2-2. We get back to 7. That's not the worst. I would really like to start healing. Oh right, we heal as well. If enemy plays Raiju, that's really bad for us. We could add Deadly Dispute into Vanishing Verse. So I guess he will grow this. And next turn we might not have enough to... Yeah, let's go for 2. No reason not to. You need to think about those games, like every single decision will matter so much, because you either win by 2 HP or lose by 2 HP. So this is a bit better now. 2-2 is much stronger than 1-1. And he cannot activate the cave because it's 1 turn too early. Bro, you either play this card or not. What a surprise, he attacked. Who would think? Alright, not sure what does it mean. Okay, so right now I feel that we are in a very comfortable situation. Paying to life? Man, is it good? Like with Vanishing Verse, I guess it's okay. Man, we are playing really risky this one. I'm so greedy, it's unbelievable. Like, I don't think I should be doing it, but I like having cards. I really do. And yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have Vanishing Verse, and this has Death Touch, so it trades with everything. If he plays Cavalier or Raiju, we can exile this and just block the other one, or, you know, the other way around. Sure. Meathook is the correct target, by the way. Great. That's really nice. He doesn't have enough creatures to for it to make a difference. I'm pretty sure he has something that gives training, like Raiju. We make a stop. See ya, bro. We don't want to get hit, we don't want to give him counters, we don't want to give him training. And now it looks way worse for the enemy. Or our opponent, should I say. Alright. So, how do we do it? We can get rid of this. But honestly, it's just probably the Professor. We can just flood the board with stuff. And Mascot Exhibition will be a game ender. And we have enough for the Field of Ruin or the Deadly Dispute. I do not attack yet. I don't think that's the turn to do it. Enemy still has some threats. He cannot burn us for 7, it's way too much. So he needs to go on the board. Cavalier, who would think? Nice draw. Nice, he actually did it. I'm super happy about it. Okay, blockers. We get 1 damage from Trample, that's fine. Huh. Yeah, we cannot be smart about it, because he has 1 more attack. I was thinking about blocking with gas and minusing something, but it's not good enough. I guess we do it like this, right? We get the treasure, we play mascots, and then he's dead. Seems pretty cool for me. And, oh, we actually can draw cards. So he dealt 1 damage and he traded his board, and then we heal back. And we get the treasure for the Deadly Dispute. We could also just go for the cave, I guess. But I kinda like the idea that he needs to tap out, so then if he wants to activate this, he cannot play the card that he's drawing, which is really sweet for us. Let's play our bros. We have a lot of bros. Alright, now your turn. Yeah, I think the game is close. We are at 8. He should have exiled Meathook Massacre in my opinion. I will gladly take my lesson, thank you. That's not the worst decision because he knows the next turn he won't be able to activate the cave anymore. But this is pretty good for us. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's so good. Let's see what we draw, shall we? We could activate the Hive, I don't think it's worth it. With our top, some Sloth top decks on the top. Man, I need to value Scry more. With my top decks, it's basically a free card most of the time.